last song we're doing this week is one that's kind of a culmination of some of the other stuff we've done. Because if you take this on the surface, then it's a narrative poem about a guy who's driving down the highway. He gets tired, he checks into a hotel, some weird stuff goes on, and he can't escape. Literally, that's the narrative of the poem or the song. Okay, it's been around for a long time. I think it came out in 1976 or 1977, and there's a lot of speculation about what it's about. Okay, I've given you a link on your OneNote to the Snopes page. Some people think it's about Satanism. Some people think it's about an insane asylum. Uh, Other people think it's about drug addiction. All of this speculation went around for years and years and years because none of the writers of the song would actually talk about it. So that's kind of where it came from. The only thing Don Henley has said about it is it's kind of about the music industry. And Glenn Fry spoke once about some of the specifics in it, and I'll get to that when we get to it. But do check out the Snopes thing. It's fascinating. They talk about some of the cover art, that there is the head of the Satan Church is in one of the pictures, and the janitor on the back covers a dead body being propped up by the broom. You really need to check it out because it's fascinating stuff. Okay, this tells a very simple story. It relies primarily on imagery. It has a lot of sound devices on it. But if it's really about the music industry, like Don Henley says, then it is an extended metaphor. It also works very well if you take it as an extended metaphor for drug addiction, because there are some very specific drug references in it. There's one specific drug reference, and then there is some allusion to others. So let's start out, okay? On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair. You've got dark and desert, that's alliteration. And if you look at this line, this is actually, both of these are very good. You know, it's all imagery. Okay. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, warm smell of Colita. That is the specific reference to marijuana in it, rising up through the air. Up ahead in the distance, I saw a shimmering light. Okay. You've got rhyme here. Okay. My head grew heavy and my sight grew dim. That's alliteration. I had to stop for the night. Again, all of that is wonderful imagery. This guy driving down the highway and he gets tired. And he says, okay, I see this place. I'm going to stop here. I had to stop for the night. There she stood in the doorway. I heard the mission bell. And I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven or this could be hell. Okay, hearing the mission bell, that's an appeal to your sound sense. So again, that's imagery. Again, you're painting this good picture. She lit up a candle and she showed me the way. All right. Now, if you want to go on it's about drugs. This could easily be, this is imagery. This could easily be a reference to heroin, where you have to melt the powder into a liquid and then you inject it. So that's just one speculation. Okay. And now you've got the refrain. And you've got rhyme, place, face, year, here. Okay. Welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely face. Plenty of room at the Hotel California. Any time of year you can find it here. Okay. Then we're going on to the second stanza. Her mind is Tiffany twisted. She got the Mercedes Benz. Now, these right in here, you've got a short I here, 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 and here, so that's assonant. And then you've got the T's, Tiffany twisted. She got the Mercedes Benz. She likes the finer things in life, and that was confirmed. It was the intent of that. That's what Glenn Fry said about that particular line. She got a lot of pretty, pretty boys she calls friends. That could be a reference to her being promiscuous. It could also be a reference to drug dealers. Okay. How they dance in the courtyard. Sweet summer sweat. Okay. This is also imagery. But also you see the alliteration. Some dance to remember, some dance to forget. And here you've got the S sounds here and here. Okay. So you see they're painting a very good picture. Okay. I called up the captain, please bring me my wine. You've got me, the M's, and my and wine. He said, we haven't had that spirit here since 1969. Okay, you got a couple of things going on here. You've got the S's, okay, but then you've also got the short I sound here, 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 okay. So, and still those voices are calling from far away, wake you up in the middle of the night just to hear them say. This could actually be a metaphor for his conscience, you know, telling him, don't do this. Okay. If you're looking at it as a figurative descent into drug addiction, at the start of the song, he's not addicted. She shows him how to do it, and then he starts getting into it, and his conscience keeps warning him, hey, don't do this, don't do this. This is not going to end well. Okay. So that's one possible interpretation. Okay. Now, if it's about the music industry, it still could mean the same thing. You know, don't get caught up in all of this. Don't let it take over your life. Don't spiral downwards like so many famous people do. Okay, here's the refrain. But notice there's a slight change to it. They living it up at the Hotel California. Bring your alibis. Why do you need an alibi? You know, what's your excuse? Okay. So, again, next stanza. Get it straight here. Okay. Mirrors on the ceiling, the pink champagne on ice. That is again imagery. Okay. And in the master's chambers they gathered for the feast. They stab it with their steely knives. The next line is they just can't kill the beast. This is a metaphor. Okay. Let me show you the other line. They just can't kill the beast is right here. Okay. The steely knives could be needles. But now Glenn Fry said this was actually a dig at the band Steely Dan, who was around at the same time. But it could also function as a metaphor for needles, again, with heroin addiction. Or the beast could be, the addiction to fame and all of that. Okay. And then the last stanza, here's the beast again, has got to be some type of metaphor for either music industry or for drugs. Okay, the last thing I remember, I was running for the door, so I was trying to get out of there. I had to find a passage back to the place I was before. And you've got passage and back. Excuse me, it's a short A sound. To the place I was before. So he wants to get back to wherever it was he was. If it's a metaphor for drug addiction, then he wants to be unaddicted. Okay, if it's the music industry, maybe he wants to go back to a simpler lifestyle. Relax, said the night man. We are programmed to receive. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. So he's stuck. Okay, this is a metaphor for being trapped. Now, if you want to, trapped by the fortune and fame, trapped by drug addiction, perhaps both. Okay, so lots of different interpretations to this song. Okay, what are some different theories about the song's meaning? We said one was satanic beliefs. Another was that it's an insane asylum. Okay, drugs. And then Don Henley said the music industry. You get trapped by that fame and fortune and feel like you need to have it. You need to have the attention. You need to have the money. Okay. What could the hotel be a metaphor for? We said music industry. Another thing that works is drugs. I mean, it plays out nicely if you want to think it's drugs. What are the voices down the corridor? They're the narrators. conscience. Okay, telling him, warning him, don't do this. Why does the narrator advise you to bring your alibis? Because you're going to need an excuse. Need an excuse for why you're behaving that way, for why you're addicted to the fame, for why you're addicted to the drug. Okay, we are all just, okay, what does the narrator mean when he says we're all just prisoners here of our own device? They did it to themselves. Which also works well with the drug addiction theory, but it also could work with the music industry theory because, hey, you did it to yourself. You wanted to be famous. You wanted to be a recording star. Okay, what could the Steely Knives be? Needles is one interpretation. Glenn Frey says it's a reference to Steely Dan, which is a band that was popular at the same time, and they supposedly had an ongoing feud. Okay, 3 examples of imagery. Dark Desert Highway works. Another lit up a candle. And heard the mission bell. There are plenty more, but those are just the ones I put down. 3 examples of alliteration. We have Tiffany, twisted. We got the T's repeated 3 times there. Sweet summer sweat. The S sound. Okay, let's see. Spirit sense 60. S's again. Okay, 3 examples of assonance. Tiffany twisted works again. Here it's the I's, short I sound. Okay, my wine, the long I. Doesn't have to be the same letter, just the same sound. Okay, spirit and sense. Okay, list 3 examples of internal rhyme, and it depends on how you see it printed out. Place and face, because there are times when those lines are printed out in one line. Surprise and alibis. And where is the other one? Place and face, year and here. Just depends on how you see it printed out. And the way it was printed out on the album is that they were on the same lines. Okay?